Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where in this video we are going to unbox and test out the TTX Tech classic controller designed to be used with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System and the Nintendo Super Famicom. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. Now before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, I just want to take a second, say thanks for stopping by and checking out what we have going on here on the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you wanted to see more of what we have going on here, we have several playlists, including playlists featuring the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super NES Classic Entertainment System, and of course the Nintendo Switch, which is what's playing behind me here with Super Mario World. And if you really like what you see here, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and that bell notification. That way each and every time we upload new content, you are kept the most up to date. And what I want to know from you is, what is your favorite controller to use for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System? Do you prefer the Super NES style controller with the concave convex buttons, or do you prefer the Super Famicom style, which has the different color buttons but they're all the same shape? So which one of those two controllers do you like the most? Me, I actually prefer the color of the Super Famicom, but I wish it had the concave convex of the Super NES. I know, I'm weird. So recently TTX Tech came out with this classic controller designed for the Super NES and Super Famicom. It is not designed for the classic systems, as this does have the original Super NES style, Super Famicom style connector hardwired into it. The nice things about this is, first of all, it's inexpensive. It's under $10. I got this for $8.99, under $9. Well, plus tax. Anyways, you get what I'm saying here. They're inexpensive. It is a hardwired connection, so you shouldn't have any lag or latency issues going into it. And there are two variants. Now, I have the one here that looks like the Super NES controller. They do also have one that looks like the Super Famicom controller. My local store did not have that one in, so that's why we're just showing this one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the box, throw it on the bench, and check out what it looks like, how it comes outfitted, and then we're going to play some games. Let's get started. So here we have the box of the TTX Tech Classic controller, a wired controller, 6 foot. I do wish that was 10. And as you can see here, it will work with the Super NES and the Super Famicom. Looking around on the back, relive one of the best eras in gaming history with the classic controller for Super NES, Super Famicom, and select clone systems. This controller features a 6 foot cable, traditional 4-button layout, 8-way D-pad, and the twin shoulder buttons everyone knows and loves from the 16-bit generation. And again, here you can see 6 foot cable, classic 4-way or 4-button layout, and an 8-way D-pad. So no plastic insert or anything like that. Also, no instruction sheet. So it's a controller. What can you do differently, you know? All right, excellent. So the controller itself is in a little baggie. The cable is kind of wire tied all together here. Looking at the layout, I mean, you can see the D-pad looks decent. Feels okay. Shoulder buttons feel okay. Yeah, I mean, these feel good. It's kind of weird that the select and start are not at an angle. Here, let me grab my Super NES Classic controller and you can see here what I mean. So here you can see the select and start, they're kind of at an angle where these are parallel to the bottom of the controller itself. At first glance too, I kind of thought the scallop here was deeper, closer to what you would see on the Pound cable or the Pound controller for their Super NES clone system. It definitely does have more of an inset than what the original does, but it's not as bad and not as deep as I thought that it was initially. You know, just back to back, look to be pretty much the same width. I will say the D-pad looks a little bit smaller, but that's like maybe 4 to 5% smaller than here. I mean, it's not major. The fact that this doesn't have like the circle around the D-pad, I don't know if that's going to bug me or not. Something we'll definitely have to check out. The buttons look spot on, exactly like they should look, so those are good. Let's take a look at the shoulder buttons here too. Now obviously L and R on the opposite sides, and unlike Pound, L is on the left, R is on the right, upside down here, just so you can see that. They do look a little taller that way than the standard ones, but they look to be about the same length side to side, so that's good. You know, weight-wise, this feels about the same weight as the classic controller here. Overall, does not feel bad in the hand at all. Very comfortable, actually. Let's hook it up and test it out. So first up, Super Street Fighter 2. I really want to put the controller through its paces. And fighting games is always one of those things where if the controller isn't up to the task, it's going to be ratted out pretty early on. Now I'm getting some glitchiness on the game itself. I don't think that has, well actually I know it doesn't have anything to do with the controller. So I was able to pull off all the moves there. The Shuriken, the Hadouken, the Dragon Uppercut, everything worked. I definitely need to clean this game though, as you can see with the sprite issues there. Oh, he's got me back in the corner. Going to 3 rounds. Let's see what happens. Oh, he got me. Yeah, I can pull off the Dragon Uppercut pretty much at will. Ooh, nice counter. Got him. Okay, so far so good on Super Street Fighter. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually change systems. That was my RGB modded Super NES Junior. I'm actually going to hook up the Retron 5 and see how that works. So now we're hooked up to my Retron 5. As you can see, I've got Star Fox loaded. Does it work? It's been a long time since I've played on my Retron 5, I will tell you that much. The triggers, you know, or the B button seems to be working just fine. Let's see if we can go through here so that way we can get the twin blasters. And there they are. Now I cannot do a barrel roll on this one, but I can definitely do plenty of just regular rolls. Buttons, as you can probably hear, very clicky. D-pad feels good. Such a great game. Even, you know, I know people kind of dog the polygon graphics all the time, but I still think they actually hold up. As I missed that. I can't believe I missed. I was looking at the camera instead of the TV, and that's what happens. So far so good on that one. I mean, I've got to say that this is actually working very well. It's very comfortable. No issues with button presses or anything along that line. Pretty much, if I hit the button responds. If I move the D-pad responds. Can't believe I missed that one there. Works just fine on the Retron 5. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to keep the Retron 5 loaded up and rolling. I'm going to try a Famicom game because it's one of the things with clone systems, you can play more than just Super NES games with this controller. I want to see how it works on 2-button mode essentially. We're going to finish it off with Parodius Da because this is an amazing game for the Famicom, one that I absolutely love playing. So this is the perfect example of a cute 'em up. Basically it's like Gradius and what is it that just hit the wow, I can't believe that I missed those guys. Twinbee. There's a lot of different games that this is basically pattern after. Buttons again working great on this. Should get a double shot here in a second. There we go. That's what we wanted. Speeding up a little bit here. This is probably one of the best ones to get. Even if you just have an NES, you know, grabbing a 60 to 72 pin adapter as I died. Works great. Let's wrap it up. So in the end, what do I think of the TTX Classic Super NES controller? Well, a few things that I'm not a fan of. You guys can kind of see side to side where we're at. That's 6 feet. that is not long enough of a cable for me. Should have been 10 feet. I did basically have to pull my Super NES Junior out of my cabinet that I have here, set it on a computer desk really, to be able to play while hooked up to the system. I think the controller cable needs to be at least 10 feet. Above and beyond that, that's about my only real gripe. It was precise, it was comfortable, my hand did not get fatigued at all while using it. Overall, it was a pretty pleasurable experience. I was a little bit, taken aback when I first saw pictures of the way that this is scalloped here. Not an issue at all. Very comfortable. Better than the Pound controller, which I thought this emulated. It does not. Button presses felt great, and especially playing Street Fighter 2, the fact I was able to pull off all of Ryu's moves without any problem, definitely a big thumbs up for me. But these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Did this measure up to what you think that a Super NES controller should do? What do you think of the aesthetics? I'm not real sold on this dark gray on the face of it, but that's just me. I may just be a little bit more picky than others. I do wish that they would have done both the concave convex button variant also with the Super Famicom button colors. That would have been awesome. But if you do have any other comments or questions, like I mentioned in the beginning, make sure that you leave them down below. You can also email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter at rocksolidstudios, Facebook at facebook.com/rocksolidproductions, and Instagram at instagram.com/rocksolidproductionsgk. If you are looking to pick up one of these, I will have a link in a pinned post where you can order through our Amazon affiliate link, and when you do so, it actually helps support the channel. No discounts or anything like that, but it does help us out here. Now, if you are looking for some discounts, some promo codes, things like that, head on over to castlemaniagames.com, and one of the cool things is Ryan over there at castlemaniagames.com has what's called Castle Cash. It's his rewards program where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases. And the cool thing about Castle Cash, it's just like cash. So if you have 25 bucks in Castle Cash to spend, you have $25 to spend in the castle. You can also use promo code ROCKSOLID10 to save 10% off of most items on the website. Thank you, Ryan, for doing that for all of our viewers out there and supporting the retro gaming community. Now, if you want to help support Rock Solid Productions, you can do so in a couple different ways. First and foremost, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid for as little as $1 a month, $12 a year. You get early access to all of our content, exclusive content, and more. You can also go ahead, head on over to our Teespring store on screen right now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies, all with Rock Solid Productions logos on there. And everything we raise gets put right back into the channel so that we can buy new equipment. For testing too, thanks to you guys, we were able to pick up one of these. Again, under $10, a very good value. I really did think that this did a admirable job for, again, 10 bucks, less than 10 bucks. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification. That way each and every time we upload new content, you are kept the most up to date. My name is Gary. This has been Rock Solid Productions and our look at the TTX Classic Super NES controller. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you soon.